Are you upset at Stranger Things 5? It's important to ask because there will never be another show quite like Stranger Things. Some of you may have hated the way this show ended. Some of you may have loved every second of this final season. But one thing is for certain, this finale marked an end to an era. So it's no surprise that it's a controversial topic. But whether you loved it or hated it, let's recap the end to an era of Stranger Things. So where did you stand on volume 2 of season 5? Let me double down. Where do you stand on the final episodes of Stranger Things, period? If you're among the majority, you probably hate this thing. And I'm not here to tell you if your opinions are right or wrong. That's the beauty of opinions. We all get to subjectively have them. But what I will say is that volume 2 has so many hidden gems within it. I can't believe the vast majority of people hated this scene.
So what do you say? Do you accept my proposal?
I accept your proposal.
I honestly think outside of the finale that it's the best scenic exchange of dialogue in this season, only rivaled by these two. I walked away from the episode with it being one of my favorite scenes in the entirety of Stranger Things. I love the setup, the misdirection, the symbolism, the rising impending doom around them.
I hate it when you're high.
I hate it when you're drunk.
I hate the clash.
I hate reading your articles. I never replied to Emerson.
I know.
The goo around them only stops rising when they both are finally honest with one another. I think it was an amazing metaphor and delivery and cinematography for a scene. I was perplexed when I saw that people were confused about the breakup in this scene. They clearly state that they should mutually break up, just without outright saying it. And I love that from the writer's perspective. They trusted the audience to be able to read between the lines, and because of that, they were able to pull off such a unique scene that has 5 seasons of storytelling behind it. If we're still talking about episode 6, then I thought the scene that paralleled this one held just as much weight between Steve and Dustin. Once again, this is a relationship, a story between two characters that spans over so many seasons. The arc in its entirety in this episode is unique.
Switch the teams up.
Let's just keep it simple, stick to the usual teams.
I loved how this decision set up a domino effect for the rest of the moments that would follow through this episode. I think up to the first 20 minutes of this episode, we all had this feeling that Dustin was angry and moving irrationally. That's what made the honest back and forth in this moment hold so much emotional tension.
He saved no one.
He saved everyone!
You can keep telling yourself that, Henderson, but deep down the reason you're so goddamn pissed is because you know the truth.
But the way the writing subversively delivers the opposite emotion, not anger but pure sadness filled by depression and grief, is something that gave their story through this episode so much more of an impact.
You go on there, you're gonna die, and I can't deal with it again. You can't die because I can't deal with it again. Don't let it happen again, please.
And to me, this is what Stranger Things has done the best over the course of all 5 seasons. It's so much of what I missed in volume 1. And the crazy thing is, people loved volume 1. I didn't hate it, but the first 4 episodes had me feeling a little underwhelmed. But through the last 4 episodes of the season is when the story started to feel more like the Stranger Things that I love. And this volume is flawed, no question. This finale was flawed, no question. But I think that I'd be lying to myself if I said that this season still didn't hit me on an emotional level. And the emotions is what has carried me through this series. Yes, the action scenes were cool. Yes, the music each season was nostalgic. But the emotions, the tears and smiles shown from each character is what made me fall in love with this series. If there was a place to nitpick through the back half of this season, I would start with one word: adrenaline. After episode 7, I didn't feel like this was the end. I didn't feel like the world was at stake. And no, it's not because of a single scene. I don't even think I could blame episode 7 as the culprit either. I think from the jump, the big stakes of world-ending chaos wasn't on pace from the first episodes of this season. This season didn't feel like a direct follow-up to season 4 to end the series. It more so felt like just another adventure in Stranger Things. And a large part of that has to do with our wants and expectations before this season even had a release date. Regardless of that though, the show has gotten so much unnecessary hate. I think it's becoming a trend more so than anything else to just dump on season 5 of Stranger Things. Like sure, there's no reason that this one unique episode in season 5 has by far the lowest rating in the entirety of the series, even with all the drama. What a lot of the success of this season depended on was one thing. The biggest X factor for this season was how was the finale going to perform. No matter what, me, you, and everyone else are going to have our own reflections on the end to this show. But maybe that's because of how this show has impacted all of us in very different and unique ways throughout all of our lives and in different parts of our lives. I've said this time and time again, but to me, Stranger Things is at its best when we're right here. It didn't matter if we were in the upside down or the right side up. Stranger Things is great when it tells its story through its characters. I won't be able to change your mind, and I don't want to dare try to, because the way you feel about this ending, the way you feel about this goodbye, is uniquely personal to you and to what this story has meant to you over the past decade. Sure, if I was the one with the pen, maybe I would have added more stakes. Maybe Steve or Jonathan would have been lost on the trip to the right side up. Would I have maybe wrote a crazy twist for the finale arc of Henry as the villain? Maybe. But that's not what they chose to hang their hats on for this series. The art of having to say goodbye, having to move on, has always been a masterpiece in this show. And that is the theme through these last 2 hours that we got of this series. Mike doesn't get his own closure. He decides to write his own closure.
No one will ever know, but I'd like to imagine that she's in a beautiful land somewhere far away.
And like the spinning top in Inception, we will never know if Elle made it to see those 3 waterfalls. We'll never know if these 4 stuck to their promise of meeting in Philly every month. But that's what hope is for. The Duffer Brothers have never killed off their main cast in any season, and they've always gotten flack for that. But what has made their story so rich is the human gut-wrenching elements that dance within all of us. The Duffer Brothers have found excellence in writing a story based around the theme of life, the heartbreaks that comes with it, the challenges and second guessing that comes with it, the friendships that drift but find their way back to one another, the loss and tears, but also the smiles, the triumphs, the wins, the campaigns finished. That's Stranger Things. And in a finale to a series that spanned over 10 years, I wouldn't want to have it any other way.
I believe.
Did you guys choose to believe? Because I think that may be the greatest theme through this final season. Pessimism versus optimism. The running theme with Henry has always been fear. But what the writing dared to challenge in that theme is if you had the ability within you to believe that hope can be true. You guys in the comments can even let me know if you chose to believe Mike's theory. And many have called this cliffhanger lazy, scared. I call it brilliant. I call it leaving interpretation for a character in Elle that has carried you through this entire journey. Elle was the heart of this finale. Elle's story has been the heart of Stranger Things. Whether Mike's theory is just a theory or not, you still gave Elle the chance to be heroic for the people that she feels has saved her through her story. And this story always has been about getting this group of 4 back to this table. Before the crazy adventures, this is where their story started, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Say what you want about the stakes, about the final battle being too quick, but every time a character put their book on the shelf for one final time, I felt the emotional weight behind it. So, if I were writing this series, would the story have ended differently? Maybe. But as for the end to the era that was Stranger Things, there will always be a part of me that will say I wouldn't have wanted it any other way.